Friends from around the world. I think very glad that we have people from all over the world attending tonight's this talk. Yeah, the emerging career in the new normal. It is a hot topic that I have been constantly discussing with friends in privately, and I'm very honored to have the opportunity to discuss this with you this evening. Right now. New normal. Actually, if you think about it, we are all currently at a point of what we call the inflection point. Inflection point is typically defined as a point whereby lots of disruptions is going to happen, and it might throw many of us off balance or to new unpredictable trajectory. Now, Newton's first law says that the object in motion will continue to move in the same direction unless acted upon by an external force. Now tonight, I'm not going to talk about just one external force. I'm going to share my insights about three mega disruptive forces that are coming onslaught onto our lives. I think fundamentally it's going to change the way we think, the way we work, and even the way we live. All right. So what are some of the fundamental changes resulting from these three forces? Let's take a look at the first of the three forces. I coined a word, is called algorithmizations, and you see a big word here. It says artificial intelligence. Now, many of us already know that AI is already kind of right at our doorstep, but it's like how big an impact will it be? Is it something that is reserved for the scientists in the high-tech laboratory, tucked away in some secret lab or some university? Or is it something that is already infused into our daily lives? As you can see in this picture here, artificial intelligence has a part to play, and it's going to impact on almost every aspect of our life. But how will it impact you? I know some of you in front of the Zoom right now, mid-career people. Some of you are the new senior, I call, okay, which is 60 and above. And some of you right in front here are students. And I know that we have some academic leaders as well as some university students that are tuned in to this right now. So let's explore about how AI and the algorithmizations will impact on all of us, the different age groups. Yeah. So let's take a look at something that we all already seen over the last 1 year. Now, automations and robotics are nothing new. Automation and robotics have taken away a lot of labor-intensive jobs over the last 10 years. But probably because of the pandemic, the necessitated response to the pandemic, lots of these automations have been infused into our lives in many, many dimensions. And look at what has been disrupted. The first and foremost, that is very obvious to most of us, counter services job. And when you walk into an airport now, touted as the smart airport of today and the future, you will see far fewer service personnel. A lot of it is self-service, and part of it is also due to pandemic. We want less contact, bigger safety distance. It will be better that you can have some contactless control with your checking in and your boarding passes, etc. But it is not just counter services in the airport, but self-checking counter over at the supermarket, and you can think of 1,000 other places. And the day ahead are going to see a lot more of this, and as a result, many more jobs will be disrupted and many of our careers will be changed. Now let's look at another aspect of it that is coming on board. Yeah, hospitality jobs will be disrupted as well. This is a new age hotel, When it first came out a few years ago, many people think that it's some futuristic experimentation. Now this is one of the hotels that is launched by Alibaba over in China. And let's look at how hospitality jobs will be disrupted, and perhaps many people may no longer have a role to play in a hotel, right? Now we heard about a lot of this buzzword nowadays: retraining, lifelong learning, continuous upgrading and all. But I would say that someone who has spent years in doing, say, housekeeping, for example, it's going to be pretty hard to retrain that person to become a programmer for the robots or even to maintain the robots. So retraining, it has its limitation. It can get to a certain point, but structurally it's going to impact on a lot of humans, okay? Now, how about you say that there are those front desk service jobs where when you walk into the hotel, you want to be greeted by someone who is smiling, friendly, jovial, can crack a few jokes with you. Let's look at how robots might in the future replace more and more of such personnel. Let's take a look at this video here. Yeah, enjoy.
The robots can speak in Japanese, English, Korean, and Chinese.
すいません。変なホテルへようこそ。精算機で手続きをしてください。
Welcome to Henna Hotel. Please use the kiosk machine to complete your check-in.
欢迎光临 Henna Hotel， 请移至自动精算机完成入住手续。
You'd be pretty hard pressed to find one staff, hotel staff, who can speak, say, 4 different languages. But if there's a need, nothing is stopping an AI programmer to program in 100 different languages. Now you can hardly find one single human who can speak 100 different languages. Yet, by the press of one button, because all the robots are networked in a system, you can immediately clone and upgrade all the hotel service staff into 100 language expert. And this hotel staff, being a robot, can be, like I say here, it can be in any size. You can look like a beautiful woman, it can look like Tom Cruise, yet it can be a dinosaur, it can be a Pokemon as well. Now, besides all the languages, it's always smiling. It doesn't take toilet break. And it doesn't need a day off, and it can work 24/7. Completely reliable and completely consistent as well. And that's in the hospitality industry. But how about in the food industry? Just take a look at this. Now, like I say, robots can come in all forms and sizes. Now, that is a beauty, and yet is the threatening aspects of artificial intelligence. Now, these are robot chefs. And you would think that human has 2 ability. We are born with 2 ability. One is physical. We can lift things and we can do work, right? And then the other one is cognitive. We can think, we can make judgment, we have that thinking ability. And many of us would imagine that a chef is famous because only he can whip out that particular fried rice, that particular plate of fried rice, because of the way he fried it, the way he blend the different ingredients together in a way. However, in this particular instance here, as long as one chef, a master chef, is willing to share his recipe and his sequence of cooking up that particular dish, and he can work together with an AI programmer, and there you have a chef being cloned into multiple robots that can serve the same consistent level of dish. Now, this is not some futuristic restaurant somewhere far away. It's right in the heartland of Singapore, Toa Payoh Hub. The restaurant is called Bowl and Bowl, and you can all visit it and have and enjoy seeing how the robot actually serve very highly delicious food. It actually received very, very high review. And look at the people who are working here now. They are no longer the chef, they are just helper. So chef can be disrupted. Then you have something that is traditional, right? Well, we all know that Western gourmet coffee all have been computerized, automated. You press a button in the Nescafe machine and out come the coffee. But you think that the traditional coffee making styles is something that is very local, it's more difficult to replicate. But look at this machine here. Now again, this is not a cafe that is from some outer space. It's right here in Singapore at a shopping mall called the Center Point. Let's take a look at what this machine is capable of doing, and I'll speak a little bit more about that in a while. Enjoy.
You know you make me feel so alive. Can't stop thinking about you day and night. Love it when you kiss me, love it when we touch. Every time I'm down here, you make me smile. You're the solution. You are, 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 you are the solution. You are the solution. You are, 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 you are the solution. You are the solution. You are the solution.
Outdo the guy who programs it, right? Now it would be really hard pressed to ever find an expert who can dish out the best of the local beverages, at the same time who is able to remember and perform the cocktail recipe of, let's say, 200 recipe. But you can program it into one of these machines, and it is both a traditional beverage guy plus the best of the bartender in the whole wide world. And if you wish to, you can program 1,000 recipes into him, and it can do wonders. And how do you beat that? And then you can replicate this to 1,000 machines all around, and you can open up many, many stores. Now, businesses of the future is going to fully utilize the power of AI and machines. Now, just how powerful can artificial intelligence be? Or is it some kind of science fiction that you see on a movie that it is still far from being the realism? Now, I think many of us here know about the chess playing computer program. It's called the Google AlphaZero. Now, Google AlphaZero is nothing but a few lines of codes. It's algorithm. And way back in 2017, this AI computer program, starting from ground zero, it spent 4 hours to teach itself how to play the game of chess. Just by knowing the basic rules of chess, yeah, how the knight moves, the queen, the king, the bishop, and all that, yeah. It took 4 hours to teach itself the game of chess, and it went on after that to beat the world's chess playing champion computer program, Snapfish. And these two programs actually went on to beat many, many world champion chess grandmaster. Now pause and think about that. The game of chess has been around for hundreds of years. Generation upon generation of humans have been working their lives to reach to the mastery level. And there comes this computer program, this algorithm, and you can pick up this game, not as a novice, but in 4 hours it surpassed the grandmaster level. And that really is how powerful artificial intelligence and machine learning can become. And it is a humongous force that is going to come and disrupt the way we are going to think, we're going to work, and the way we're going to live as well. Now, the alpha machine, the chess playing computer program that I mentioned just now, it happened in 2017. That's 5 years ago. Do you know what AI can do today? And more importantly, can you ever imagine? I don't think any one of us can ponder even the how AI will become 5 years from now. And that goes to the point about students of today. What are we teaching them today? And are we preparing them for a world that is going to be greatly disrupted, that is going to manifest and unfold in a way that we have no idea how it will be, because we can't even predict it, and definitely tomorrow is not going to be the same as yesterday. Now, this report is very recent. It's less than 1.5 months ago in Singapore. Fresh graduates are being disrupted now. They work hard, they study hard. That's what the school has been schooling us, yeah? And I've been schooled in the same way, right from the industrial age time, whereby we work hard, we study hard, we specialize in some courses, some informations, and then we go on to become a job seeker. Schools train us to become a job seeker. But however, if you have been kind of digesting what I have said just now, there's going to be fewer and fewer jobs going forward. Now, in this particular news report here, it says fewer new grads land full-time jobs. Well, we may think that, oh, that is because last year you had the pandemic situation. But I don't think so. I think going forward, as businesses try to digitize, where all the governments across the whole wide world has been encouraging and giving subsidy for companies and businesses to digitize themselves, to automate, to rely less on humans. As a result, more and more businesses are going to structure themselves in a way that's not going to have that many headcounts anymore. At most, they're going to dish out temp work or contract-based project for people to come on board, finish it, and then go on. Leave the company. So that is going to be the way forward. So what can graduate do? Or how should school be rethink the whole idea about education? How do we prepare our young for a world that is going to be very different from what we know today, not to mention yesterday? As a result, some Singapore university, this was in August last year, and immediately, because of in response to the pandemic situation, when lots of people are graduating and not finding jobs, and not to mention about fresh graduate, lots of people were losing their jobs at that point in time as well, and including even now. But the government has been pumping in lots of short-term measures to prime the businesses up. But in the days ahead to come, there's going to be a risk of many more people losing their jobs. And it says here that it throw in a few modules to help students to prepare themselves to become entrepreneurs, to make a living on their own, it says there. But having been as an entrepreneur for over 20 years, I am convinced that entrepreneurship cannot be taught in a classroom by writing a thesis. Entrepreneurship is very much like apprenticeship. You have to learn by doing, which is experiential educations, and then you get better through mentoring. So learn by doing, you get better by mentoring, and that essentially is the framework of apprenticeship. Now, I'm glad that we have university students here tonight. We have academic leaders here tonight as well. I'll leave it to you to think about how the world is going to be and how we then prepare our children for a world that is going to be markedly different. Now, artificial intelligence is only the first of the three mega forces. What is the second force that I'm going to talk about is force number 2, a connected world. Wow, a connected world is definitely a good thing, isn't it? But why did I put an exclamation and a question mark there? Obviously, there is some things, some deeper insight that I would like to share with you. Now, we have a lot of apps and technology that has enabled us to be connected to anyone around the world. Actually, this technology has been around for a decade or more. But human is a creature of habits. We are very resistant to change, and it usually take a long time for adoptions of technology. But because of the pandemic of last year, it has dealt a tremendous dislocation to all of us, to the degree that within months we are all learning how to work remotely from home, how to cooperate and coordinate and collaborate with different people, not only within their office in a country, in a city, but with this remote workforce all over the world as well. So suddenly, out of in a matter of months, everybody become more and more skilled, proficient, and comfortable working from anywhere. And children too. Children and school teachers had started whole dislocations, and they started to learn how to teach online. Not to the perfection yet, I'm sure, but the world is going to unfold more and more with online communication, online coordination, online collaboration. So connected world has got some benefits, and connected world is powered by all these algorithms that group together, and they are called what? Apps. Yeah. Now, today we have apps of all kinds. In fact, our life we cannot do without apps now, right? Before the pandemic, we book air ticket using apps. We no longer go to a travel agent. We grab a cab, a taxi by using the apps as well. We communicate, email, we read. We want to know about the weather report, we consult the app. We want to take a picture, we want to manipulate, and we want to edit the picture, we use the app. We use the app for everything. We use the app to watch Netflix. Everything is on the apps. Now, apps today is like oxygen to us now. But app doesn't have a long history. It started with the launch of the first iPhone in 2007. And then in 2008, the App Store, or rather the Apple Store, was started by Apple, and it contained only 500 apps. Fast forward 13 years, which is not a long time, it's just slightly over a decade. Today, we have over 4.5 million apps in both the Apple Store and the Google Play. That is humongous, tremendous, and it changed our life within 10 years, within a decade. The way we live, the way we think, the way we work has been completely changed by the algorithmizations. And this has brought a lot of convenience and power to all of us. Well, now we can work anywhere and we can do business everywhere. And this is one of the catchphrases of the title of my talk today. Let me ask you, how do you know where I physically am right now when I'm zooming with you right now? I know some of you are at home, but how do you know where exactly I am? I could well be in Bahamas on the beach. I could be in Phuket, or I could be in anywhere, as long as there's Wi-Fi. And I'll be zooming with you with smiling faces, all of you at home. And that is how technology has changed our life. But notice what I say. I say work anywhere, business everywhere. I didn't say job and everywhere. And that's because there's a danger here, there's a threat here as well. Because disruptions now move from the labor-intensive manual worker into now highly skilled, highly knowledgeable professionals. Because the new mantra is, if you can do your job from anywhere, someone anywhere else can do your job as well. Especially if this someone has higher skill level than you and happens to be living in some places where the cost of living is much lower, and as a result, they would demand a lower salary from your employer. So the human resource recruitment process is going to take a humongous change over the next few years. Because the pool of talent is going to be globalized, you will be competing with someone in Kolkata, or maybe in a province that is many hours away from the bustling city of Manila. And if you are not aware, your lunch may be taken away without you knowing. And that is the pros as well as the cons of having a globalized world, a connected world. The question is, how do you flow with this trend? How do we go along with this force instead of being whacked head on by this force? Now, AI is only one of the disruptions, but a connected world has got another huge, I would say, dichotomy. A very interesting phrase here, it says that we are much more connected now than ever before, but never been so alone before as well. And you'll be wondering why? Because on your Facebook you probably have 1,000 friends, if not at least 800 or 500. Plenty of people, and they give you a lot of likes, they give you a lot of love, and you should feel really good. And essentially it is not about that, right? It is a false pretense about human connectedness. And really, in a highly algorithmized world, high touch, genuine care and concern, a real sense of camaraderie, friendship, relationship, with empathy, with compassion, with a human emotion, and humanistic value is going to be valued a lot more. It's going to go up exponentially while we get algorithmized exponentially at the same time. Now, what is the third force that we're talking about? Is something that is staring at us and is becoming a much more urgent force with every year advancing. Fast aging population across the whole wide world, especially in some country in Asia, is rapidly aging. But at the same time, all of our lives are elongating. We are all living longer lives nowadays, and many of us know about parents who are still alive at the age of ripe old age of 90 plus, 100. There are a lot more people celebrating a 100-year birthday, and the projection by the scientists is that you and I will be living much longer life than our parents. And the students who are attending the talk tonight here, you are going to live much longer life than your parents, who are going to live much longer life than your grandparents in that sense. But isn't this a good news about living longer? But hang on, what are some of the implications here? There's ramification for everyone in the family, right down to the baby who is born yesterday. Let's have a look at this. Fast aging in Asia and the Pacific region is climbing up in a tremendous speed. Now, in just 2050, we are going to have 1 out of 5 persons who is going to be aged 65 and above. We are progressing towards there. We are not quite there yet. So what are some of the ramifications? Now think about it. If you are in the ripe old age now of 60 and above, you want to make sure that you get yourself fit and well and healthy, because every one of us know now medical cost is climbing faster than we are comfortable with. Okay, at the same time, medical insurance cost is also climbing. You're going to pay more and more. At the same time, the government coffers are becoming smaller, especially after the tremendous spend during the pandemic, and including this year and next year probably. And then at the same time, we're going to have more and more older people, and as more and more older people, you're going to have more medical expenses, like it or not. More hospitals are being built in Singapore right now to cater for the next 20 years of growth. But at the same time, lots of governments are shrinking in their ability to provide welfare and medical costs, medical care to them. So what is the implication to the older folks is taking care of yourself. Now, how about the middle-aged people, those in their 30s and below 60s? Many of us at the age of 30 to 60s, we have lesser children, unlike in the past. when we have half a dozen to a dozen kids, right? But most of us have only one, at most 2 children. And what does it mean? It means that growing old, you're not going to be able to depend on your children to take care of you. But at the same time, you'll be worried for them, how the world will pan out for them, whether they are ready to thrive and succeed in a whole new world order that is totally unpredictable. So preventive wellness is going to be a new priority for a lot of people. And for the younger students and younger folks, you want to make sure that you advocate the preventive wellness as a way of life. It's no different from brushing your teeth every morning in order to prevent a teeth decay. But now preventive wellness is going to go beyond just your dental care. It's going to go beyond to holistically your whole body, and especially with aging population, mental health is going to be one big dimension of preventive healthcare that's going to be very important. Not to mention all the life-threatening diseases like cancer, diabetes, heart attack, and all that. So preventive wellness is the new priority and therefore a new demand the world over. Let's look at the new senior now. As we are fast aging, inevitably our parents' generation will say retire at the age of 55, retire before 60. But take note of what the government is saying now, the world over. Everywhere, governments are raising the retirement age. Now, why is that the case? Firstly, the government doesn't have enough money to pay for the care of the retiree. Secondly, can a person who retire at 50 or 60 able to fend for themselves financially for the next 40 years? And that is a long time. So as a life gets elongated and become longer, there's this projected needs and a tremendously increase in the financial ability that needed to look after that person. So retiring become a 60-year-old thing, and most government in the world, including Singapore, is pushing it up to mid-60s, and eventually I believe it will approach 70, if not even more. So retire is going to be a word that will soon be forgotten. It will soon be a passé in our dictionary. But retiring will be something that is going to be a new concept going forward. So retire to do what? Not retire to re-enter the workforce and fight with the younger ones. You can't compete with the younger folks. But you retire to take on a whole new dimension of enterprise. A new form of enterprise that offers you the opportunity to continue to add value to the marketplace and to the community. That at the same time, because you add value to the marketplace, you continue to earn a reward in the form of financial return. And that it will be the way that you will find a new meaning that will allow you to continue to flourish, blossom, going into a ripe old age. And that is the new concept. Now, as we progress, we will start to wonder, how do we navigate through this fog if it's so unpredictable? How do we fight against these 3 mega forces? And my humble advice is, don't fight with the mega force. These forces are, you cannot win fighting them. And it's like the ocean tides, you know. When the tides is rising, you can't fight the tides. It will overwhelm you. So instead of fighting these forces, you got to learn how to work with it. You go with the flow so that you do not inadvertently bump into a mega hip bump. Am I all right? Thank you. Yeah. Sorry about the small disruption. We are talking about disruption today, right? So I would like to address the young here, which in my dictionary I'll call them young as anyone below the age of 30. You could be in your first career, your second job, you could be still studying, you're a student. Those in the mid-career will be the category of 30 to 60. And the new senior, I like to call you the new senior, yeah? Why new senior? Because you are not the old, you are the new senior with experience, with the connectedness, with the wisdom, and you have the network that you have worked your whole life to, and you have your skill and your life experiences, and you can move on to lead a new kind of enterprise. So I'll share what are some of the ideas going forward in navigating these three mega forces. Force number one, algorithmizations, and force number two, connected world, and force number three, fast aging, longer life. My suggestions is number one, instead of being a job seeker, we need to encourage more and more of us, whether we are young, we are mid-career, or we are the new senior, to build and own your own business. An own business that you cannot be fired from. Okay? A business that will connect as well as support partners, business partners, like-minded individuals across the entire world, and build it into a global network enterprise. And a business that does what? A business that provides proven preventive wellness, which is the new priority, which is the new demand the world over. And if we can provide a proven preventive wellness solutions for a better life, you have got it made. You have got a business that will ride on the rising tide, and you can enjoy a new kind of freedom and a new kind of empowerment that flow along with these three mega forces. Now, in order to evaluate a business, or rather to achieve business success, there are basically three keys. Yeah, the first is right trend, and we have talked about some of these forces in the form of a trend. Things are moving forward. The fast aging populations. And importantly, the right business model as well. Gone are the days where you're going to open a shop, stock up your goods and wait for people to come and buy. People don't come to your shop to buy anymore. Do you still go to the shop and buy? Yeah, of course, some of the thing, but most of the time you use your app because algorithm runs our world now. It powers us. We go to Shopee, you go to Lazada, and I ordered my air fryer from there. I ordered my hard disk from there, and I ordered my computers from there. And we all do that, yeah? So the right business model is really crucially important. And finally, working with the right people. In a connected world, there are so many right people waiting for you to connect with them. And connections is already there, using that connectedness, okay, to connect with the right people and flourish with a new business. At this point, I will share my short journey of over the last 10 years in Avita, and how I use this three model and how I use these three keys, okay, to achieve some humble success myself. And I hope that this might give you some really interesting ideas and something to think about, okay, if you wish to embark on the same journey. Now, I'm very glad and grateful and appreciative that way back in 2007, I stumbled upon Avita. I'm one of the founding distributors in Avita, and Avita is a Singapore brand, Singapore company. I'm actually not in Phuket or Bahamas. I'm right here in Singapore, Avita HQ, beaming out from here to the world. It's a Singapore company. It offers Asia-wide opportunity, and the solutions that it provides is the new priority, is a new demand, preventive wellness and anti-aging solutions for a healthier and better life. Okay, we are in many countries, as you can see here. Let me bring you through that. Our founder, our beloved founder, is none other than Miss Lee Xiang Ying. It was due to her leadership and her foresight and her visions of a better life for a better world. Way back in 2007, she conceived the idea that if we're going to be a successful entrepreneur, it must not only make our own life better, and our own life better not only in the health perspective, but it's also in the financial security, in the financial independence aspect of it. So health and wealth are the two arms that are really important to become very successful in living a happy and gainful life. And she often said, life is a gift. Every single day, every single moment is a gift given to us from the beyond. So we should never take it for granted. So this is a leader, an entrepreneur leader who leads Avita with passion, with empathy, with compassion, humanistic values that is going to be highly valued in an increasingly algorithmized world. And now what do we do? Yeah, product-wise, the preventive wellness solutions, we have a range of very interesting products, right? So I'm going to just cover briefly, okay, if you are interested to find out more, if you are new to Avita, find out from the person who invite you to this talk so that you can have a much more intimate and more detailed discussions, yeah? So we have the right smack in the middle is the Herbal Essential Oil. This is a blend and a fusion of the Eastern know-how of traditional Chinese medicine as the Western extraction technology that allow the herbs essence to be extracted in a form of a topical application energy oil. Yeah, and right on the left hand, is that your left hand side? Yeah, left hand side. Yeah, you see Salogen. There's our top top selling product, and it's made, designed, R&D in Switzerland. And you know about Swiss standard. Swiss standard is super high. That is an anti-aging. It's a cellular therapy product. And right at the top right-hand corner is another cellular therapy product, researched and developed in Singapore. NGF is a bird's nest extract, and it focuses primarily on the nerve cells, neurological issues. And that is going to be the next big issue as our population age faster and faster. Okay, neurological health is of tremendous importance. Okay, there are other products like Life Biotics is a very powerful probiotics, and we have the hair rejuvenator at the one corner there that helps with premature graying and losing of hairs. And Matrix Cell is a product that helps in making sure that we protect ourselves, especially our women folks, against the development of cancer, especially breast cancer. Now, I will give you a quick take on my entrepreneurial journey, condensed into a few minutes, yeah. Although I have been very interested in business, after school I was a scholar with the Singapore Armed Forces, so I spent about 14 years in the army. And then after that, when I came out, I was with the corporate. I rise up the corporate ladder, working very hard for a company until I was told to fire 50 over of my own staff from across 6 countries. And I have no idea when it will be my turn. Somebody might be firing me. So I realized that I may be working very hard. All my guys are working very hard for me in that sense because I hired them. But I have no control over their destiny. And when the order comes from the top head office, I just have to fire them whether I like it or not. And I have no idea who will fire me, whether they like it or not. And that what started me embarking on the entrepreneurship journey to create a business that I can call my own, that I can build, and I can build it as big, or I can build it as international as I wish to. But at that point in time, I do not have a lot of money to invest in a big business, yeah, to buy over a franchise or something like that. So low capital investment was something that I was looking for. And I believe a lot of mid-career people, including even the youngster and the new senior, would appreciate an opportunity like this one, where it started with a low capital investment, less riskier, okay? So I started with a direct go business position, which is a franchisable business position, and with a small pile of rolling stock, and I kick-started my business. But I have no idea how to do the business. Thankfully, I had mentorship and training. Remember, entrepreneurship rely a lot on not just training, classroom training, but training in I do, you watch. and then you do, I will tell you. So that is mentoring. And so I was so grateful that I have a very excellent mentor, Pauline, who is right in this Zoom room with all of us, and Josephine Chan, who is my senior. Okay, if you search around, you will find these two wonderful ladies. They are entrepreneur masters. Okay, so with their help guiding me, I was able to immediately create some happy customer. And when you have happy customer, your confidence grow, right? And having happy customer alone is not the definition of Avita network business. Avita network business is not just a retail business. And very soon, I get the mentoring and the training to do the next big thing, which is finding, identifying, connecting with like-minded individuals, aspiring entrepreneurs, and I started to work with them as a team. So Avita, besides mentorship and training, it is a team-based business. Now, leveraging on the team and system is what got my business off to a big jump forward. Yeah. So over here you see Tengi, Chongping, Joey, and Kit. I'm just putting out a few partners here just to show you, illustrate how the system works. So my business partners are all aspiring entrepreneurs. Some of them were my old buddies, like Chongping there is my buddy from the army. At the same time, he and I went to our master degree program in the UK together in 1994. Then we have a professional here, Joey, who you will meet all these people in the Zoom later as well. So Joey is a professional civil engineer. But he's been there, done that, climbed the corporate ladder like me. He was looking for a way out. And bang, we connected, and then he is part of my network. And right at the corner there, you have Kate, who is an aircraft design engineer. Similarly, we have the same like-minded aspiration to build our team. And what will happen now? You see, I did the same thing that Pauline and Josephine did to me. I mentor them, I train them, and soon enough, they start to grow their network. And what does it look like to you in this case? It looks like a franchise system. And exactly, because there is a franchisable system, you create a network. That's the reason why it's called network marketing business. Yeah? And when you create network, the network grow into multiple countries as well. Because I may not have a friend in Myanmar or Philippines or Cambodia or wherever you like it, but my friends have friends in all these countries. And that is how you secure a business that is scalable across the world. And when your business scale across the world, you will start to enjoy multiple streams of income. And many of us have heard this term, multiple stream of income. Normally you hear this term only in investment seminar. They talk about investing in a diversified basket of investment tools so that you generate investment income from different places. But I will say to you, I think having a job, a single source of income from one employer is dangerous now, today and going forward. Having multiple streams of income from a range of country partners across the world is going to be the way forward for most of us. And this is something that has broke through for me and brought me to a whole new paradigm of entrepreneurship. And today, most of us here, who you'll be meeting in a while, are people who leads a multinational network. So MNC, Multinational Corporation, is now becoming Multinational Network, MMN, yeah? Okay? So this is what it is. How international are we? Avita is 14 years in the making. So at the moment now we have into 14 countries and we are growing, covering a total of about 2 billion population. That's a humongous market size. Okay, and this is where the connectedness will then allow us to jumpstart, and at least allow me to jumpstart. I have partners as well as a network in all this country and more. Okay, so like I say, entrepreneurship is requiring training, mentorship, team support, And we collectively, with the team support, we organize a business event like what we are doing now. And we have a regional network of partners so we can leverage on different people, different skill set, different language ability. And we have a business system that helps to run all that. So I just give you some ideas, some photos, some illustration of how it works. Avita education system is the key. It's like the hamburger university. It ties everything in. It permeates and proliferates the right best practices, the right way of doing the business in a way that's professional, in a way that is sustainable. That is a very important word. I can talk about the word sustainability for the whole day. And these are all our partners from different countries, Indonesia, the Philippines, Singapore, and all. And when we come together, we learn and we grow together. I emphasize the word, we are not only just loosely connected, but we are strongly supported. And we are intimately coming together to grow and to succeed together. And when you have a lot of people coming together, a lot more things become easier, become more empowered, and the multiplying factor become more pronounced and intensified. Now, pandemic shifted us just like any force that come along and dislocated us. Immediately we launched into the Zoom platform, and within a few months we are Zooming right exactly like what we are doing now. We are having international conferences and summits and seminars, okay, sharing not just our business opportunity, but also training and mentorship across the world at the same time. There are many individuals here that I can kind of illustrate to you how our journey got started and progressed. Here I would like to pay tribute to the lady who is hosting us right now. She's a tech host for today. Let's say thank you to her. Maybe you give a thumbs up to her, encourage her. Thank you very much. Yeah. Now, Hui Kiong is a non-graduate. Let me emphasize that in Singapore, it is tough for someone who is non-graduate to progress in their career and fly to the blue sky. Yeah? So true enough, she was born in Muar, Malaysia, and she came to Singapore, and her first job was an operator, earning a humble income of 450 Singapore dollar a month. Now, over a course of 26 years, having gone through many rounds of night school, getting higher certifications and all, she ended by her corporate job at 45 at a level of 3,000 a month. Now, she joined Avita business, not knowing anything. It's just like the Alpha Zero computer, not knowing anything, but she has help from her two cousins who supported her, mentoring her and training her. In a short span of 3 years in Avita, of course, she works hard, yeah, she worked hard, and she has a double her income compared to a 26 years of corporate climbing. And at that point of 47-year-old, she set a daring goal. She says that by the time she's 50, she hopes to break the ceiling of 15,000. Now, incidentally, Hui Kiong is 50 this year. And let's take a look whether she has reached her goal by the age 50. And I hereby want to congratulate her that she need not be 50. In fact, 3 years ago, she hit $34,000 in a single month. Let's give Hui Kiong a big round of applause. And that is the kind of leveling. This is the kind of leveling the playing field. As much as AI is and the global career search is leveling the playing field for someone in Calcutta who might be able to take your lunch, take your job away from you, Avita is also a level playing field. For anyone who wish to and aspires to be an entrepreneur, it has that learn by doing experiential education, a new kind of school. A new kind of school not just for the young, but for the mid-career as well as for the new senior. Regardless of age, everyone is welcome to this new school of entrepreneurship and learn by doing and get better through mentoring. And once you have been there, done that, you can turn around and mentor and help others along the same path. And here you will meet, tonight here you'll meet all these mentors and seniors who have all been there, done that. Many of them have made millions in here. So in a short while, in a minute's time, all of you will have the chance to interact with some of them and find out every one of us have a different story. Just let me kind of like give a quick round of intro. We have Chong Ping here, who was a former lieutenant colonel from the army. We have Gina below that was a former HR director. And then we have Siu Ling, who was a former finance director. Yeah, we have former lawyer, we have civil engineer, we have sales manager, we have non-graduate former admin executive, and we have a former accountant, and many more. There are homemakers, there are bankers, there are all kinds of people. I hope that I would like to invite you to get into a breakout room and do a virtual handshake and kind of have a free-flowing discussions or just a chit-chat and get to know who are these people. Who are these young, who are these mid-career, who are these new seniors who are embarking on a journey that is going to go with the three mega forces, go along with the three mega forces and not be overtaken by them. So, tech hosts, are we ready for a 15 minutes virtual handshake and chit-chat session?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, let's go. You don't need to do anything. The tech host will transport all of us into the breakout room, and I'll see you in 15 minutes time.